What's up, YouTube? My name is Trisha. Today is January 15th, 2019, and today I'm making a video that's basically an introductory video to what I'm going to be doing this year. And so yesterday I actually made a video. I felt inspired to make a video for the first time in probably 6 months. And afterwards, I just thought, man, I feel really good, just after making a video. And I remembered that, making YouTube videos to me is just something that I enjoy. It's fun for me. And so this year I decided, I'm like, you know what? I just want to make like a video a day of just, me talking about whatever, what's interesting to me, stuff that I'm learning, stuff that's new. I also actually want to make like a monthly video, so where every month it's like an energy update. I see people on YouTube making these videos, and it's kind of for like the spiritual, like intuitive community of people who feel like they're kind of on like we're all on a spiritual journey, right? And I just think it's super helpful to watch those kinds of videos because it's people getting on and they're sharing their experiences, they're sharing like the themes that are coming up in their life within that month. And a lot of times it's super helpful to me because I see myself in it. I'm like, oh yeah, like that's going on with me too. And I realize that, we're kind of all in this together, we're growing, we're learning, we are like waking up in a sense, I think, just creating higher consciousness within our own lives. And we really do all kind of go through similar experiences, it's like, the universe or God or however you see it, source is like, trying to kind of help us along and create this like lightness within us. And what I mean by that is just that we all kind of have our own experiences. We have, things in life that have been really difficult and challenging and, all the emotions that come with that. And a lot of what I see in the people around me that I know is just there's a lot of like releasing of old emotions and just, things from the past that, were difficult, just to get us into a state of, like I said, lightness and, happiness and joy and like, thinking about the future and where we are currently and not so much spending time looking back, trying to rehash the past or fix it or anything like that. And so I think it'd be really cool to do that once a month, just make like an energy type update of me just kind of sensing and feeling like, okay, what are the themes that are coming up for me? What are some things that I've been experiencing? And then just share that, and if it's helpful to people, that's great. And if not, no big deal. Like I said, I'm making these videos strictly for like funsies because I want to do it. And so really the channel and the videos that I'm going to be putting out daily, like that's for me. It's so that I can, just prioritize fun in my own life, and I think that for me and for a lot of people, that's just not something that we're accustomed to doing. We're not accustomed to making fun a priority in our life or even making ourselves a priority in our own life. And I think that 2019 for me is going to be about that specifically. It's going to be about thinking about, hey, like what sounds fun to me? What do I want to do for fun? And just doing a lot more of that. And so I also want to share just one story that's kind of going to demonstrate like how I feel that the universe kind of conspires with us when we make a decision to kind of put ourselves first, make our happiness a priority, and really ask ourselves like, well, what is it that I want to do for fun? Because we get into these patterns and I think we're just taught by example that we're supposed to put everyone else in front of us. We're supposed to put everyone else's needs before our own, and serve other people and just give of ourselves and give of ourselves. And I don't think that there's really anything wrong with that until it becomes out of balance, until it becomes all we're doing is thinking about other people and we're not really focusing on ourselves. Because the only thing that's going to happen, because that way of living is not sustainable, is that we're going to burn out, we're going to be exhausted, we're going to be resentful, and we'll we'll kind of feel the sense of like we've lost ourselves in the process of like being so focused on everyone else in our life. And I've learned in the last few years that I have to put myself first. I have to make me a priority, you know, my thoughts, my feelings, my emotions, you know, my wants and desires. I have to put that first. And I know that to a lot of people that can sound like, well, isn't that like selfishness? Isn't that like, you know, really bad? Aren't you like bordering on like narcissism? And the truth is, I'll say no, because I know myself, and I know that in my own heart, I've always wanted to help other people. I've always wanted to be of service in some ways to other people. And I think the only way that we can do that in a healthy fashion is if we are putting ourselves first. And so it's not necessarily just like a me attitude. It's a me first. And then out of everything that I've poured into myself, I can give to others. To me, I just feel like that's like a really balanced way to live life. And it's pretty much changed my life completely. You know, living in that fashion, I find myself just happier, more fulfilled, just a more satisfied person. And I feel like I have more to offer the people in my life, you know, the people around me. And so I'll get back to the story that I wanted to share. And like I said, it's basically just to kind of give an example of like when we kind of take that little bit of a leap and say, okay, I'm going to make myself a priority, and I'm going to think about like, what do I like to do for fun? How the universe will kind of set some things up to surprise us. And so here goes the story. So it's probably, gosh, I think it was like 2 or might have been 3 years ago. Anyways, I was being coached at that time, and my coach was saying, you know, what do you like to do for fun? And I was like embarrassed because I couldn't really think, like off the top of my head, I couldn't think of like, what do I do for fun? And it's because like that just wasn't my life at the time. I didn't think about like, you know, what can I do for fun? It was just about working. It was about paying bills. It was about being a responsible adult, because that's like super important. I'm kidding. Like, I know we got to be responsible for ourselves, but I think sometimes we take life a little bit too seriously. And I know that I'm guilty of that. And so for me at that time, life was just about like working, getting things done, being responsible for this, that, and the other. And fun just was not really on the radar. Like I wasn't thinking about it. And so when I was asked that question, I was like, oh my God, how do I not know? You know, come on. How do I not know what I like to do? Like what's fun for me? And so what I ended up doing was just making a list. I had to like sit down and really think about, okay, what are things that I enjoy doing? Like what are things that are like really fun for me? And so I made this list, and one of the things on that list was like live music, you know, go to concerts, you know, and I was like kind of asking myself, why don't I just do more of that, you know, because it is really fun. And that same week, I think, I was listening to the radio and I heard that Garth Brooks was going to be in Fresno, which is like pretty close. It's probably a couple hours away from where I live here in California. And I thought, man, like I love Garth Brooks. Like he's just, love his music, love what he's about. I'm going to go to that concert. You know, I'm going to buy a ticket. And so I text my best friend Amy and I said, hey, Garth Brooks is going to be in Fresno. Like, are you down? And she texted me back and she was like, yeah, let's do it. So we bought the tickets, nosebleed seats. Like we probably bought tickets late. So we were in the nosebleeds. We didn't care. We were going to see Garth Brooks. We were all about it. And so the day of the concert, we drive up there and we're walking in the doors and we're trying to find our seats. And this guy walks up to us and he goes, hey, I got these tickets, 2 tickets for the second row. Would you guys like to upgrade? And we're looking at each other like, oh, A, who is this guy? And B, we're going to get upgraded for free. Like, what's this about, you know? And so he continues to explain. He's like, all you have to do is make sure that you know, cheer your guts out for the opening acts. Like, that's all that, you know, we ask of you. And so we're still kind of a little bit like, what? Like, how are you giving us 2 tickets to the, you know, first 2 rows? So he went on to explain, and he said, you know, Garth Brooks does this basically at every show where he'll buy out the first 2 or 3 rows. And as people are walking in, they'll just randomly pick people and say, hey, do you guys want to be upgraded? And I thought, man, that's like the coolest thing, right? So we're super jazzed. We find our seats in the second row, like we're 2 rows from the stage, and I couldn't even believe it. And so we faithfully cheered our guts out for the opening acts like we promised we would. And then Garth Brooks comes out, and that guy is like, I don't know, just amazing to watch. He's out there running around, singing, you know, just loving every second that he's out there on that stage, interacting with the crowd. And it's incredible to watch. I've never really seen anything like that in my life, but it's super inspiring. I just thought, this guy gets to do this, you know, multiple times a year. Something that he totally loves, totally enjoys, and he's just out here giving it his all and having the time of his life, you know, and making sure that every person in that crowd is having the time of their life. So it was like totally intoxicating, totally just, I don't know, so much fun. But that's not even the best part of the story, okay? So here's the best part of the story. I freaking love telling the story. And I swear to God this happened. I have witnesses. So Garth Brooks is singing, he's singing Call in Baton Rouge. Me and Amy are singing our guts out, you know, we're looking at him. He's like standing right in front of us. Unbelievable. So probably not even like 10 feet away. We're just looking up at him and we're singing every word. And so in mid-song, he looks down at me. He looks at me, puts his microphone down, and he goes, I love your hair. And I just about died. I looked at Amy to my left and I said, did you see that? And she's like, yes, you know, like we're freaking out, we're screaming. We probably simultaneously both like shat ourselves because we couldn't believe, like he looked right at me and he said, I love your hair. Oh my God, I could have died right then. It was like the best thing ever. And so there we were singing, finished the rest of the show. I don't think I went to sleep that night. I was so freaking excited, so pumped up with energy. I went to work the next morning and I had to work early too, like 6 a.m. And I was just telling anyone who would listen to me my Garth Brooks story about how he talked to me and said that he loves my hair. And I shared that story because it's like, it was as if the universe was like, hey, you're going to take some time to think about you and take responsibility for your own happiness. Like, let me just set some things in motion to let you know that I got you. And I was like, oh my God, you know, because stuff like that doesn't just happen. I don't believe really in coincidences or anything like that. It's like, it was just incredible. And it just kind of gave me this feeling of like, man, like it really does pay. It really is worth it for me to consider myself, for me to think about what do I want to do? What's fun for me, you know? And so, yeah, that's my story. That happened. I have a witness. And so, yeah, I just wanted to share that today. I'm going to be making daily videos. And so if you want to see them, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If not, that's okay, because I'm just doing it because it's fun for me, you know? And so I hope that you have a great day, and maybe take some time thinking about like, what are some things that you could do for yourself that are fun? You know, what's a hobby that you can start doing that's just going to bring some joy and fun into your life. And so I think that's all I got for this video today. Have a good one, and see you tomorrow. All right.